On 7's Gold Coast News, young car thieves wreak havoc across the Gold Coast. We have exclusive pictures.
A man steals more than $1 million from his elderly mother. See the moment police make the arrest.
Council's budget fallout, what it means for Gold Coast retirees and our most vulnerable.
A lifeguard turned snake catcher. The mission to remove the slithery reptile from a surfers paradise beach.
And what tradies discovered under this Southport bar.
Live from the Gold Coast, 7 News with Amanda Abate and Steve Titmus.
Good evening, everyone. The police have spent hours in a game of cat and mouse tracking 5 young alleged car thieves driving dangerously from Benogan North.
Even a truck driver boldly tried to put a stop to their wild ride.
A stolen Jeep squeezes between a truck and the side of a Benogan road. The operator of the heavy vehicle tries to trap the 5 juveniles, but they get away. An officer on a motorbike, an undercover vehicle and the dog squad give chase. Throughout the day, the youths had been seen allegedly trying to break into homes across the coast. Travelling in a convoy with a stolen blue BMW, they scope out homes in Varsity Lakes, bragging about their haul on social media.
I was flipping that pack for a living. Who'd have thought it'd be right for a living?
But as police shadowed them through the city, they lost control, launching into an embankment in Coomera yesterday afternoon. It was here 5 juveniles, some as young as 13, were finally arrested, but the blue BMW was able to flee, continuing up the M1 to Brisbane. 7 News understands one of the children arrested is the same young boy who was injured when he crashed a stolen Range Rover in Ashmore in April. Lessons seemingly not learnt.
Several other luxury vehicles were also stolen from the northern suburbs overnight. A group of thieves broke into a house in Cottage Place in Coomera through a glass door. Brandishing a hammer and power tool, they were able to steal 2 vehicles, including a grey BMW on Salvador Drive in Pacific Pines. Thieves also got away with a Mercedes and blue BMW after sneaking into a garage.
My wife noticed a white car, a bit suspicious in front of our house yesterday.
Anyone who spots these vehicles should contact police.
A sick and elderly Gold Coast woman has allegedly had her bank accounts drained and $1.1 million stolen from her. The man police believe is responsible is her son, who is now accused of using her illness for his own financial benefit.
A door knock at dusk. A 64-year-old man answers to find Queensland and Victoria Police at his doorstep.
I'm from the Queensland Police, the Financial Crime Investigation Unit.
Over 4 years, the Melbourne man is accused of transferring $1.145 million from his 83-year-old mother's bank accounts into his own. She lives in Ashmore and was sick at the time.
It be alleged that due to the illness of the woman, she did not have the capacity to provide him permission to access her funds. And the man also never held any authority under an enduring power of attorney.
Police further allege he continued to steal from her by spending $150,000 from her debit card. It left her account virtually empty.
It's gut-wrenching and it's just disgusting.
What alerted police was a complaint from the Public Trustee of Queensland in January last year. It's taken 17 months of thorough investigations to put the son before the courts. Detectives searched the son's home where documents were seized. He's charged with 1 count of fraud greater than $100,000.
Anybody who abuses our elderly or abuses our vulnerable people will be pursued to the full power of the law.
He'll face court on July 4. Caitlin Steadman, 7 Gold Coast News.
An ex-AFL player has pleaded guilty to stealing a further $11,000 from a Gold Coast football club. Caitlin Steadman, he took the money on the day he resigned.
That's right, Steve. Craig Devonport was back before the courts on another 5 charges. The court heard he cleared $8,000 from an ATM At the Broadbeach Cats AFL Club, $3,000 from a cash register and forged documents to get 2 mobile phones. 1 month ago, he was ordered by the District Court to pay back the same club $30,000 after cashing cheques and withdrawing money. The former St Kilda and Carlton player claims the club owed him in unpaid wages. He was sentenced to a further 9 months prison, wholly suspended for 12 months. He must also pay back the $11,000.
Okay, thank you, Caitlin. There is some relief tonight for Gold Coasters on the minimum wage, who'll now receive a pay rise of $40 a week. It's a small help after Council's rate rise left many wondering how they'd make ends meet.
It's a rate rise Council claims was necessary, but ratepayers say it could be crippling.
I think it's disgusting, and especially for the elderly people. They can't afford that.
A minimum wage increase of $40 a week will help cover rising costs like water and rates. Some will pay even more than the 4.3% due to increased land valuations.
At the end of the day, we do need better infrastructure. So as long as it's being spent on infrastructure, I'd be happy.
Almost a third is to fund basics, roads, waste, water and sewerage, particularly in the north.
More than 50% of our population now lives in northern Gold Coast.
A lot of the funding for our northern suburbs is to upgrade roads to combat congestion in areas like here in Pimpamar, where not only the population is increasing, traffic is too.
$3.3 million for the Creek Street and Mirrabina Drive intersection in Pimpamar, a new bridge on Kirkin Road North, a $7.8 million upgrade for Almost Peachy Road. And with the Olympics now a decade away,
We'll bring forward projects that need to be done for future generations as part of the 32 Olympics.
Indirectly costing ratepayers up to $100 million. Carly Madsen, 7 Gold Coast News.
And a little later in the bulletin, the budget's impact on retirees and our older population. That's soon on 7 Gold Coast News.
A Mullendina family evacuated from their home this morning after it filled with smoke. It's believed it was caused when the dishwasher caught fire in the kitchen. 2 emergency crews arrived at the home on Watergun Parade just after 9 a.m. and quickly put the fire out. It's not believed it caused any structural damage.
Today's glorious sunshine brought out more than just people to our beaches. A lifeguard at the Service Paradise Beach had to deal with an unwanted brown snake.
Yes, got him.
The snake was on a walking track to the beach. There have been reports of a number of snake sightings near beaches this week.
Coming up, pensioners feeling the pinch. How Council's budget will impact older Gold Coasters.
Plus, women in sport, a Sally Pearson special report.
And the historic finds discovered underneath the bar in the heart of Southport. Gold Coast pensioners are feeling the pinch of Council's recent rate rise. Retiree advocates say many will go without just so they can afford the basics.
A cuppa in the kitchen. The closest pensioner Geraldine Langston gets to dining out.
I can't afford a lot of things.
The 80-year-old is feeling the pinch of yesterday's rate rise, forced to fork out an extra $160 a year.
I go, oh God, you know, every single thing has gone up. I call it the backward saving. It all goes on a credit card.
While her body corporate fees have also gone up.
They've gone from $65 a week to over 120.
Along with energy prices.
I do only keep one light on.
Cost of living, crippling lifestyles, even for many in this group of self-funded retirees.
They're going to cut out things like going out to lunch. They're going to cut out things like buying those extra presents for their grandchildren.
New research has found almost a third of Australians over 55 feel insecure about their financial future, with many now delaying retirement or dipping into their super early. Older Australians feeling hip pocket pain in their twilight years. Jordan Bissell, 7 Gold Coast News.
The mask mandate in Queensland airports will be lifted from this weekend. Travellers through the Gold Coast terminal won't have to wear a mask, but they will still be required on flights. The mandate will lift from midnight this Friday.
Our city is quickly becoming the epicentre of women's sport. Now, one of the industry's biggest events will be held on the Gold Coast, focusing on leadership and equality. Sally Pearson has the story.
Cross Codes sharing the sands of Surfers Paradise for a big announcement.
We've attracted the largest Women in Sport conference to our city in September of this year.
The Gold Coast is home to over 300 clubs and 14 professional venues, making it the ideal destination for September's summit.
I think it just shows how much it's growing and how much women's sport is just expanding.
Growing infrastructure has triggered record participation from young girls.
I think it keeps you out of a bit of trouble as well, because you know you're dedicated to something, you've got mates always around you, you've got something to go do every single weekend.
The sports industry adds around $750 million to our economy annually.
We're ranked at the moment number 35 in terms of sporting destinations, and we're hoping to lift to number 10.
The Women in Sports Summit aims to open up conversations about equality and recognition, important topics ahead of the 2032 Olympics.
A really big part of it is stepping up and being that role model and just encouraging the younger generations.
And inspiring young girls to give sport a go. Sally Pearson, 7 Gold Coast News.
Coming up soon, buried for decades, the historic items found during renovations of a Southport bar. What was discovered? Find out later in the bulletin. But first, our Olympic champion, Sally Pearson, with tonight's sport.
Sally is Star Titan is a bit nervous about her Queensland call-up.
Yeah, and that's despite having won Olympic gold, Amanda. Hello, everyone. Just ahead, Ivania Politi opens up about her Maroons debut and why she turned down the Broncos. Plus, a call to arms, why the Suns need your help to make history.
Thanks, guys. Tomorrow on Sunrise, beating the meat price hikes.
Our exclusive consumer investigation reveals how to find the best quality and price.
See you in the morning, Queensland.
In 7 News at 6, our power of failure. How did it come to this? The action plan for blackouts if they're needed. The suburbs least likely to lose the lights, and how you find the best deals now. Plus, Queensland's mumpreneurs building their own family-friendly careers from home. 7 News is Queensland's news.
She's won Olympic gold, yet NRLW Titan star Ivania Politi is nervous about her looming State of Origin debut. The Maroons women will enter camp on the Gold Coast this Friday, with Politi starting at centre for next week's one-off clash.
I'm nervous. I honestly am really nervous. But I guess I've played in so many high-level matches where the pressure's been on to win important games, so I think I'm well equipped.
The Titans have also locked in Karina Brown for another season. She and veteran Steph Hancock helped the club win a tug-of-war against the Broncos to secure Politi's services.
And they're probably the two people and the two reasons why I re-signed at the Titans. So to be able to share another season with the both of them, I'm really, really excited.
Meanwhile, Titans hooker Erin Clark is closing in on his first international cap, selected in the Kiwis' extended squad. The Suns are calling for the city to aid their push for an historic finals berth. The club's on track to crack its membership record and wants Metricon Stadium to become a fortress for their 5 final and pivotal remaining home games.
Connor Budrick is a true blue Sun, their only star to grow up a supporter, with fond memories of the club's peak in 2014.
Had it marked, dropped it, turns around, bounces for and kicks a goal.
The atmosphere was insane, being in the crowd, so couldn't imagine what it would have been like to be out in the field in front of all those fans.
Now he plays alongside the 5 remaining members of that team who stuck around to see the Suns rise again.
From what I've seen, they're the hungriest they've ever been. Everyone else has just got to get around them and get on that bus with them.
A call to arms that extends to the city, wanting Metricon Stadium to become a hostile place for the opposition to visit.
More noise that's heading our way rather than the opposition, then certainly the team gets a lift from that.
To know that we've got the locals behind us, it just tells us that they're on this journey with us, and we'd love to have that each week.
Starting with Sunday's Crows clash, and a win could help the club crack 20,000 memberships this year, currently just 2,000 away.
We've got 5 more home games, and we can sign up as many people as we can and get them there and get Metricon rocking.
Mitch Crone, 7 Gold Coast News.
And the Suns women have kick-started pre-season for their 4th campaign. It's a new look side with the AFLW's expansion making for plenty of player movement.
We've still got a really key part of our core group, a lot of talented players there still, and it's been really positive on the track, really positive vibes.
The season will start on the last weekend of August. And guys, that's already your midweek sport.
Quickly.
Absolutely. Thanks very much. We'll see you tomorrow. Well, the search is on for 26 little legends to play their own under-9s mini State of Origin. And students at Clover Primary impressed, stopping Triple M's Spider Everett in his tracks. The spirit of Origin are polarising even at a young age.
Would you ever think about representing New South Wales?
No, never in my life.
And it doesn't matter how blessed you are with skills, it's all about the passion for the state. And as soon as you ask them, who do you follow, they're straight up Queensland or New South Wales. There's no in between.
Very smart. All players get 2 tickets to Origin 3. Head to our Facebook page for all the details.
Very cute. Coming up after the break, bottles and bricks buried for decades. The amazing finds under a local bar.
Full moon, high tides and weather. All of that and more coming up after the break, everyone.
In 7 News, a pay rise for Gold Coasters, how much you'll get, and good news on supermarket prices. The Big Brother tactics Bunnings and Kmart are using on customers. Airbnb crackdown to ease the rental crisis. How to get the best power deal now. And the mumpreneurs and their family-friendly careers. 7 News at 6.
A group of tradies have uncovered some gems from the past buried beneath a Southport bar. Old bricks and bottles were discovered during recent renovations.
An eclectic bar with plenty of stories to tell, and this one begins nearly 100 years ago.
We were just digging up the old pipes, trying to fix the plumbing out the back.
But the tradies uncovered more than just pipe work.
They found all these old bottles underneath there.
Vinnie's Dive Bar shares a block with the historic Cecil Hotel. The bottles may have been buried decades ago along with these handmade bricks.
Cool to know that there's a little bit of history on the Gold Coast. It's not just all glitz and glam.
This can of Coke dates back to the 70s.
I'm scared to even pick it up because it's just so brittle.
Beneath the bar, an old cellar was discovered, believed to have been built in the 1930s. Once connected underground to the Cecil, the historic finds will now join the rest of the memorabilia at Vinnie's.
I think the bottles will fit in really well up on the shelf with the way the bar looks and stuff. It's a bit old and dusty, this place.
The cellar has now been filled back in, waiting to be discovered again. Courtney Dunn, 7 Gold Coast News.
And we can report that none of the old drinkers were found there. Max Butcher joins us now. The top story is coming up shortly in the news at 6.
Steve, coming up, relief at last, a pay rise for Gold Coasters, how much you'll get, and good news on supermarket prices. The latest prediction for more interest rate rises. The stock market belted again, the impact on super. The Big Brother tactics Bunnings and Kmart are using on customers. The Airbnb crackdown to help ease the rental crisis, plus the blackout action plan if the lights go out, and how to get the best power deal now. Plus, Queensland mumpreneurs building family-friendly careers from home. 7 News at 6.
Thank you, Max. Let's check the weather now. Birdie, no complaints here today. A beautiful day for the coast.
Oh, sensational there, Amanda. Hello, everybody, from the Sundale Bridge tonight. Just want to talk about the king tide this evening, culminating with, of course, last night's full moon. But normally about here is where we see it, 1.5 metre tides. But let's whack another 50 centimetres on top of it, everybody. And we are going to see that water tonight about 9 o'clock pushing right up to here. So if you are going for walks along those low-lying areas, expect some salt water. And of course, even backing up in those drains around Budds Beach and those other familiar areas along the Nerang River. Let's take a look at our beautiful Q1 weather cam there, everyone, thanks to Roscoe on time lapse. A stunning start to the day across the Goldie. Beautiful conditions, light winds, all thanks to a high pressure system. We'll show you that in a sec. Robina residents, it's about northeasterly winds, 6 k's, 19 degrees, absolutely gorgeous conditions out there. Double the temp what it was this time last week. Today we had highs at 23 across most of the coast, 24 degrees up there on the Western Ranges, down to about 13 degrees at the Seaway overnight, much warmer. To the charts now, there's that large high pressure system just settling across us, that's stabilising the weather. Another system set to move through the central interior over the next few days. We do have that low sitting further to the south, bringing some more foul cold weather for the far southern nations. We're going to see a bit of a trough forming off our coast later tomorrow, bringing a couple of showers for the weekend. But tomorrow, mostly sunny, highs at 23 degrees, down to 12 tonight for Southport, 11 tonight for Nerang and Robina. Looking good. 12 to 23 for Surfers Paradise, plenty of sunshine on the water, light winds, seas half a metre, looking great. If you're going for a surf, it was great this morning, all open stretches fired up, and also those points. Tomorrow I'd be hitting TOS and D-Bay, your best bet. Looking ahead now, pretty good conditions leading into the weekend. Strong southerlies forecast. Showers by Sunday, Monday team, but love these overnight morning temps.
Fabulous, good time to get the shorts back out again. Thanks for being with us tonight.
And we'll be back tomorrow with more Gold Coast news. But stay with us, the news at 6 is starting now. Good night.